everybody, I'm Undercover ASMR, and today I'm going to be giving advice to people who are newly going into college, new college kids, just people that are entering college this semester that is coming up or has already started depending on where you are. So, for anybody watching this video who's in this position, I'm guessing you just moved in, or if you didn't just move in, then you are commuting or something, and you're about to start classes in a couple days or something like that, or something along those lines. Probably understandably a bit scared or anxious or excited or happy or sad or homesick or all of these things, and that's understandable, completely understandable, and that's okay to feel like that, you know what I mean? Nobody has their stuff figured out, which is one of the first things I wanted to say. Don't be afraid that you don't have your stuff figured out yet, because when I say stuff, I mean, like, let's say your major, or what exactly you want to do after college, or what type of classes you're going to take next semester, or your plan for college. Take it one step at a time. So, like how you scheduled your classes for this semester, right? Just focus on your classes for this semester until, I mean, you can obviously give it some thought, you know what I mean? But you have time to think about it, but don't just put it off. Actually think about it, you know what I mean? But don't let yourself feel like, oh my gosh, I don't have anything figured out, whatever, because nobody does. Not really, you know what I mean? And you probably heard this a lot, but about, they say there's a big percentage of people that change their major when they're going into college. I'm one of those people, you know what I mean? And so it's not super important your first year, not even really your second year, you know what I mean? But yeah, just make sure that you don't stress about that, because that can become a big stressor, I know this one guy who, he was pretty isolated from a lot of other people. I guess he didn't know that many other people, he was pretty lonely a lot of the time. But he, gotta check if I'm still recording. I am still recording, but yes, he was pretty isolated, and he was, a lot of times he was looking from the outside in to other people's lives, and he just assumed that everybody had their stuff figured out, and we were talking about it, and he was like, so am I just the only one that doesn't know what I'm going to do? Am I just the only one that whatever? A lot of people tend to think like that, because you're going to meet a lot of people that picked a major just off of a whim, you know what I mean? Or they have a major, and they're like, yeah, I want to do this after college. They don't mean that shit. You know what I mean? They don't. They do, but they, like, not really, That can change just like that. And I would say just focus on what you're doing, what interests you. Go to class, bro. I mean, okay, you can not go to class, you can skip class sometimes, but you're paying, either you or somebody you know is paying like a lot of money for you to be there, just for you to waste that opportunity. And I know things happen, okay? Depression and family stuff, issues happen. But if you just don't want to go because, oh, I want to do this thing instead, I want to do that thing instead, or whatever, just go to class, bro. You know what I mean? It's not, you're there because you're blessed enough to be in that position, you know what I mean? And don't waste that opportunity that so many other people would like to have, you know what I'm saying? Another word of advice that I would have is, don't, like, obviously you want to make friends and stuff like that, you know what I mean? But don't force it. I kind of mentioned this in another video. Don't be so eager to have friends that you disregard red flags in another person, you know what I mean? You gotta learn how to be okay with being on your own, because if you let yourself just feel like, oh, I need to have this many friends, I want to have a big friend group, I want to have whatever, because that's what you see, you know what I mean? That's what you think you're supposed to do, but there's nothing wrong, and nobody's gonna care school, you get to watch your actions, because if you do one wrong thing, you develop a reputation, which will happen in college, but it's not as big of a deal because, you know, if you do one wrong thing as, like, just a regular person, not, you know, to anybody else, like, it's not really gonna matter that much. But if you're, like, in a giant friend group and then you do one wrong thing, then you're gonna garner a reputation. But at the same time, there's nothing wrong with being in a big friend group. You know, if you want to have, like, you know, a big friend group, there's nothing wrong with that. Just try not to trust people too much, you know what I mean? Because I've heard of some weird things happening, you know. A lot of weird stuff can happen, you know. There was the one guy, because at my campus job, I was kind of tapped in with some of the friend groups, because I knew some people that were in some friend groups so I kind of heard a little bit of stuff that was happening, and I knew this one guy. He was a bit rapey, you know what I mean? And him and the big group of one of the big groups of friends, they went to the club or something like that, and I guess he started trying to, you know what I mean, trying to make his little moves, but in a creepy way, because people are creepy. They're gonna be creepy, you know what I mean? You don't really know these people. And there was another time, apparently, like, tried to, he would let somebody get out of his, I don't know, car or something like that. But, you know, things like that, you know, you don't really know these people. They're gonna make weird decisions, you know, they're gonna do weird things, and it's just don't be too trusting, you know what I mean? And for a lot of you guys that are just now entering college, it's gonna be a lot of your guys' first times living alone, you know what I mean? So that's gonna be when I say living alone, I mean living away from home, wherever you call home, you know. And that can also be pretty different, and that can lead to a lot of things. A lot of people I knew some people that just got carried away, and it was so sad, with whatever it may be, the alcohol or the weed, or sadly other things. And if that happens, just try not to, like, maybe you'll have your first experience. I mean, a lot of people have this in high school, but maybe you didn't. Or maybe you didn't have as much access, you didn't have as much freedom to do this, but, you know, you're gonna want to smoke. Oh, I can smoke all the time now, I can drink all the time now, you know what I mean? That stuff, it's not the answer, you know what I mean? A lot of times, it's not, it doesn't really give you much, you know. People, if you're in a bad position, you know, you'll want to do those things to make yourself feel better, but it's not gonna help at the end of the day, not really. It just postpones the inevitable, which is your feelings. And if you get too into it, things can happen, you know, that, like I was talking about before, can lead to either A, you getting a reputation, or even worse, messing up badly and doing something you're gonna regret for a long time. You know, I knew some people that I was in the bathroom. I lived in a dorm my first year of college, and I was in the bathroom, using the bathroom, and it was a Tuesday, keep in mind, we have a school tomorrow, you know what I mean? And these guys, this actually happened twice, oh my gosh, can't wait until Friday. You know what I mean? You gotta do it on Tuesday. Like, don't do that, bro. Don't be one of those, oh, every day we gotta do this, you know what I'm saying? Because those people aren't getting shit done. You know what I'm saying? Unless you came to college for fucking experience, but I hope you feel good wasting all that money. And another word of advice I would have is get involved in campus somehow. You know, if you're kind of scared to do that, it's understandable, but it can really help you, A, meet people, and 2, just get a feel for campus, because you're going to need to know where things are. When you have some type of involvement on campus, it'll really help you with where everything is. Me personally, I had a campus job. I worked at a dining hall my first year in college, and it was really helpful because I met some friends there that I was pretty cool with, that did things with outside of work, and still talk to this day, you know. And it got me acquainted with some policies on campus, you know, where things are at, you know what I mean? But it doesn't have to be a job. It can be like a club that you are a part of a lot, or an event or something like that, you know what I mean? Just get involved. It'll help you meet people, it'll help you network, you know. It's really good to have things to do. You won't feel as bored cooped up in the dorm or the house all day, you know, the apartment, wherever you're living at. And yeah, just that can really help. It really helped me. And also, if you get a campus job, you can make some money, you know what I'm saying? I mean, I'm not trying to lead towards anything in particular. You can get involved in a different way, but a campus job is a good one to have, at least in my opinion, because it makes some good money, and maybe not good money, but you're making money, and it's you can meet new people, and it helps you learn where things are at, you know. Good opportunity to have. I would also say college work is different, pretty different. Do your work, but at the same time, you gotta cheat a little bit. You know what I mean? You gotta use ChatGPT. You know, you have to use that. Don't think you can do it all by yourself. I don't think anybody thinks that, but those people that do. But you gotta know when to use ChatGPT and when to actually use your own knowledge, because if you want to actually learn the stuff, you're gonna need to use ChatGPT. But if you're in a stupid like general education stupid class, you don't really need to try on those. You can just kind of bullshit that, you know what I mean? Because like how, let's say your major is some type of medical thing, and you're taking anatomy, you know, and you got some type of homework or something like that. That one, it's better to do that with your own knowledge than to cheat on that, you know what I mean? Because you need to know that stuff for your quizzes and stuff like that, your tests or whatever, your exams, you know, like, you need to know that stuff. And so, I mean, quizzes aren't super prevalent. It's usually just homework assignments or exams or something like that. But you'll get like a test and shit like that. Depends on the class, of course. But yeah, I would say just, but if it's like a general education class about something stupid that you've never even heard of before, cheat on that. I know it sounds crazy, but you have to cheat, because that's one of the ways you can get by and save some of your sanity, because you will go insane if you do everything by yourself. It's hard, and you gotta cheat a little bit. You have to cheat. That's just how it works. You gotta cheat, and ChatGPT is really good for that. Especially, you can even use, I had an English class where I was encouraged to use ChatGPT, but not in the ways ChatGPT. Here's how you can use ChatGPT to your advantage while still using your own knowledge. You can put things in ChatGPT to give you knowledge, you know what I mean? So like, if you have a question about something or how to format something, you know what I mean? ChatGPT is really good for that. Don't ask it to give you the answer necessarily, because especially if it's something where you gotta think like an exam or an essay, ChatGPT is great for that, because you can ask it a question about what you want to know, and or ask it about reasons or something like that, and it will give you the knowledge. And it's really helpful. ChatGPT was one of the it was like amazing. It basically helped me get through my entire second semester, half of my first semester. You know, it was super useful, very useful. And then, if you're gonna buy books, try and find them online first. Try and find them online. You might be able to find the PDF before you actually have to buy the real thing. But if you gotta buy the real thing, buy it. But it sucks because you gotta pay for it. And something I wish somebody had told me before: look at your classes on whatever you have. If it's Blackboard, if it's I think I've heard Carmen. If it's I don't know any other ones, but check your classes before you start class. Like a couple days before, because there might be a little thing you have to do in there. You know, look at through the syllabus. I mean, the first day in class, you might look through the syllabus for a little bit. Some classes are good. You look through the syllabus for the entire first class, but a lot of times you're not going to be doing that. So look through the syllabus. It's very smart to do that, and also learn everything about it, and just make sure that you know if you had an assignment or something they wanted you to do, or a book they were supposed to get before you start class. Because I wish I knew that before. I just thought, oh, everything starts on the first day. That's not how it works in college. That is not how it works in college. And my last piece of advice, let loose. Enjoy yourself. Take risks, but not too stupid of risks. You know what I mean? But take risks. Have fun. You know what I mean? Don't look to others for approval, but also don't look to others for what you feel like you should be doing. Do what you think you should be doing. Because I know too many people that would be like, oh, I wish I could do this, I wish I could do that, because they think that's what everybody else is doing, but that doesn't matter as much, you know what I mean? Like, if you think everybody else is partying or whatever, they're not. Just because some people are having parties doesn't mean everybody is, and that doesn't mean you have to go just because you feel left out. You know what I mean? That's why I might make a video about how I don't agree with the whole, what is it called again? Fear of missing out. A fear of missing out is ridiculous to me, because you can't miss out on something you're not experiencing. I don't know how to describe it, but basically, don't look to others for what you should be doing. Look to yourself for what you should be doing and what you want to be doing. And yeah, just have fun, take risks. Let me know what I should do next. Should I make an eating video? I don't know. I'm thinking about it. But anyway, hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope I helped out some new college freshmen starting out. Yeah, that's all I could tell you. Hope you guys have a good one. See ya. Oh shit.